What is good, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to a brand new video. My name is Rocket Rowlett, and you may notice this video is going to be somewhat scuffed. I'm apologizing for the quality. I'm recording this at 2 in the morning. I've been actually sitting and playing specifically Final Fantasy VII Remake. Been trying to enjoy myself and take a day off, but when I feel like I need some time off, things start happening and a lot of stuff that needs to be covered. So that's what we're doing in this video, guys. We got a lot of information that I think we're going to go through. First things first, we got this post here coming from Steelix sharing that somebody posted something called Project Reborn that's apparently going to be like in development and going to be revealed or whatever. We got that. We also have a bit of a discussion about the Tencent Timmy Studio, game that's being developed, the Pokemon mobile game. And there's a lot of worries right now based on what this guy Zuggy basically said on Twitter, because he's like involved, like he's an insider when it comes to the the Chinese market from like video games. And whenever like they tweeted out like the Pokemon 24th presentation, he said, "I'm very excited for this one. Been waiting for a long time." And as you guys may know, what's interesting is the company that's making this, Timmy, is owned by Tencent, and Tencent is a company that basically owns everything. It's a big Chinese conglomerate, and they make a lot of mobile games. So stuff like PUBG Mobile, Call of Duty Mobile, those games are often made by them. So we're gonna go through that. We're gonna go talk about a little bit about that. Then we have this random ass leak as well that we're gonna talk about that as well. And then finally, this interesting tease that's actually in Let's Go Peach, Let's Go Eevee that hints towards Johto. So first things first, let's start with the Steelix stuff. Again, very scuffed video. I do apologize. I don't like doing videos in this format. Again, I'm very sorry. But here's what we're talking about though. So Project Reborn now in development, which looks like this. It's an image. It's a new rumor. And then they continue saying here, Project Reborn working title to be TBA will mainly be a teaser trailer. Expect a lot of talking about the future of the series. And I will agree that this to me looks fake. I'm gonna tell you right now, okay? This to me looks unrealistic. And you may be like, well, why? Well, there's literally a Pokemon fan game called Pokemon Reborn. I find it unlikely, and it's a very popular fan game, by the way, so it feels a little bit unlikely. We probably would have seen a copyright strike or a DMCA takedown of like all sources of Pokemon Reborn, like their forums and like their wiki and stuff like that. Like I would have assumed like we would have seen that happen, right? If they're gonna do a project called like Reborn. Now, they do say here it's a working title, so the actual thing will not be called Reborn, but it's a project for the future as to what they're gonna do with Pokemon. So probably gonna be like a restart of the Pokemon universe, and I guess they're gonna go into Pokemon differently if this is true. But I will tell you again, I think this is highly likely to be fake, okay, and unrealistic and not real. So that's my thoughts on that, okay. Next up, though, the new Pokemon game in development at Timmy Studio Group. So they do not, point out here. They just say owned by Chinese powerhouse Tencent, developers known for their expertise from working on mobile games such as Arena, Valor, and Call of Duty Mobile. Exactly. Meanwhile, until we learn more about what they're exactly working on, this summer will be the release of Dana's developed Pokemon Masters. This is an old post, right? This is old info, but I wanted to bring it up because Timmy are the ones working on some sort of new mobile game, and it wasn't, the Pokemon Masters. That was made by Dana. And what's interesting is, again, according to Zuggy here, he said promotional video for partners games that will be shown at Tencent's annual game conference on June the 27th, so 3 days after the Pokemon Presents. Games are for the China market. Street Fighter Dual Mobile something, FIFA Online 4, Voltage Mode, and Metal Slug Mobile, and Dynasty Warriors Mobile. So a lot of mobile games, right? And we know there's a mobile game being worked on for Pokemon alongside Tencent, but it's highly unlikely, I would say. And a lot of people are saying it is possible, and a lot of people are saying it's not possible, right? But do you guys think, let me know in the comment section down below, guys, do you think, guys, that specifically this mobile game is considered a big project that they would take a whole presentation for? Because I think that's highly unlikely, right? Just do like the logical thing here. It's got to be highly unlikely that they would take a whole presentation just for a mobile game for the Chinese market. I just don't think that's very realistically going to happen. Then there's like, a bit of a discussion here. This was posted in January. Tencent's Timmy Studio discusses Call of Duty Mobile Pokemon partnership and 2020 trends, and this just kind of goes into, the strongest release quarter since like Pokemon Go in terms of like, downloads was like with Activision's Call of Duty Mobile, and clearly they want to continue going into that market. And Pokemon Go is the only really successful Pokemon mobile game, so I don't really know what they're expecting to get once they jump into that market too much, but we had that. So we've gone through quite a few things so far, right? I'm trying to get through this as fast as possible as to not keep you guys here for too long and not to, like, you know, have to make this video all over the place. But let's get into the next thing here. So this is was posted, and this was posted like a few days ago, actually 2 days ago from when I'm recording this, and it basically says next generation and next game's graphics, right? After last year's controversies, Nintendo decided to use the iron fist on Game Freak and obligated them on working in cooperation with a console expert developer, Bandai Namco. Now, if you guys don't know, Bandai Namco is a huge company. They have well over 1,000 employees and make a freak ton of games. They're also the people who are making Pokemon Snap, by the way. So the graphics you see in Snap, like the good looking, you know, backgrounds and the cinematic and stuff, that's stuff you can expect to see from Bandai, because Bandai can do those graphics really well, okay? They may be bad in like actually like designing games in terms of like design of like, you know, this maybe like, you know, maybe not the story, but like game design, like, you know, or, you know, how things will operate, stuff like that. But they're good at making the graphics look like up to you know, up to standard, so to say. And yeah, you can say saying, no, this is not a joke. And Pokemon Snap's reveal is only a part of the confirmation on why the next series will be directed not by one, but by 2 studios, is what he's saying here. Game Freak will have the role of designing and concepting the next games, while Bandai Namco will take care of the technical development side. Yes, best timeline ever. Now, this is true. I agree this would be the best timeline ever, because then we don't have to worry about the graphics, like, ever again. I think the graphics will, you know, if they can reach the same level of Pokemon Snap from like the trailer we've seen, which by the way, the trailer isn't representative of the final game, it's just a cinematic, but like, you know, we did see like right at the end, we could kind of see like some of the gameplay, and that looked far more realistic to what it's going to look like, and it looks still really good. And I think if we can achieve that with Pokemon, that's it. We don't need to go further. Pokemon doesn't need to be hyper realistic, right? But like, it just needs to reach that kind of like nice, like medium, like position where it's just like, you know, not too realistic, but not too cartoonish and, you know, low poly. So I think if they just keep up with what they're doing, it, you know, if they work actually with Bandai Namco, if this rumor is true, by the way, keep in mind, this is a rumor, this isn't confirmed, the guy calls it a leak, but it's just a rumor, we don't know if this is true. Keep that in mind, please, because again, we don't know if any of this is legitimate. But what I'm trying to say is, this would be fantastic if this is real news. If this is actually true, this is the best news we could possibly get, because just some other company helping Game Freak would be like the best thing in the world. Like, Game Freak is good at designing Pokemon, making a cool ID for a world, right? They're good at that, but they lack on the technical side. They really do. Their code is somewhat atrocious. They still use very old, arbitrary, like, you know, kind of coding, and not just that, but like their organizing is like the worst within like their documents in terms of the actual files, which is why like in the Crown Tundra now, or the Isle of Armor rather, we have files for the Crown Tundra which is literally just leaked out because they didn't scrub that information out. They left it in there. You know, they probably had even more info left in there that they didn't scrub out. So what I'm trying to say is, this to me sounds like, hey, you need to get your stuff together, Game Freak, you know? And if this is true that Nintendo said that to them, like, get your stuff together, you're gonna get another company involved, we need that, or else, like, you know, we're gonna have to deal with the shitstorm we had last time. I mean, sure, the game sold, but, you know, there's no guarantee that will keep going, you know, if people start getting the wiser, you know what I mean? So you gotta upgrade your shit. Because like, the thing is, nobody complains about the Breath of the Wild graphics because it looks good. Nobody complains about Super Mario, you know, Odyssey graphics because it looks good. It's up to par as to where it should be, which is why you don't really see complaints about it. So yeah, just keep that in mind. Like, you know, again, it's all a little bit all over the place, I will say. But yeah, that's basically that. So what is the final thing we have? Well, we have this image that basically popped up back in Let's Go, you know, Let's Go Pikachu, Let's Go Eevee, and this is basically this image of inside of the, I think, Pokemon, like the Silphco, I think the Silphco building or something like that. It might be there, like where Team Rocket has taken over, and it's where you go to like heal in the beds, right? You go here and you can talk to like Nurse Joy and you can heal yourself. But what's interesting is on the wall there's a painting clearly showing Johto, you know, because you can see literally the bell tower there. You know, the bell tower is literally in the image, which to me just implies that, ladies and gentlemen, this is a hint that they want to go back there. And also, not just that, but Archer, one of the rivals, right? Not rivals, one of the evil villains, the admins for Team Rocket, if you actually meet him within the actual, you know, how do I put this? within the Let's Go games, at the end of the, you know, kind of story, he'll basically tell you, like, we will, like, Team Rocket will return, you know, you will meet me again, you know, this isn't over. And there's also a bunch of other hints, like, you know, people saying, like, oh, I think Lorelei or someone, or Sabrina, actually, I think, says, like, oh, I will meet you again in, like, a few years or something, or, like, I'll meet another trainer in a few years. So, like, there's a bunch of references usually towards, like, Let's Go Johto, or, like, a Johto, you know, game. So, will we get Let's Go, you know, Let's Go 2, or Let's Go Johto, whatever you want to call it? Will we get that? I don't know. There's a lot of hints towards it, and it's, like, the logical next thing from the Let's Go series. And keep in mind, the Let's Go series and the main RPG series, and the core RPG, rather, is two different things, right? Like, they're not, like, Let's Go isn't a spin-off, it's part of the main series, but it isn't a core RPG. That's what, like, Sword and Shield, Sun and Moon, Ultra Sun and Moon, those are core RPGs. Let's Go is like a brand new series. It's like a side thing they're trying to do and see how it works, right? So keep in mind, just if they do a Let's Go, you know, Let's Go Johto, that doesn't mean that we're not still, you know, going to get, like, Gen 4 remakes probably very soon. Not this year probably, but by next year or the year after that, I'm pretty sure we're going to see Gen 4 remade, and, you know, it shouldn't be too much of a worry. But ladies and gentlemen, that's basically the end of the video, guys. If you did enjoy it, thank you so much for watching. I apologize for the very scuffed nature of this video. I had to put this together very quickly, if I may be honest and say so myself. This was very, like, quick to do, because it's literally, like, 2:30 in the morning when I'm recording this, and I want to go back to playing, like, Final Fantasy. I'm gonna be honest with you. I want to go keep playing this. I'm having fun, and the game is kind of difficult, so I want to go play that right now. And yeah, when the 24th comes around, you guys can expect me to be streaming. I'll also be streaming tomorrow, the 23rd, or technically today for me, but I'll be streaming for you guys, so I'll catch you whenever we do that. Just like, it's gonna be a little bit of a speculation hype stream for the 24th. So thank you so much for watching. Have a great day, and bye bye, ladies and gentlemen.